Good evening and welcome to Think About It. Um, Back to back, 2 days in a row. This is unusual, but um, I was more or less forced to um, come back today. And the reason why is the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates 0.5%. Now, I'm not an economist, but I do know that when you raise interest rates, when the Fed raises interest rates, prices of, or should I say, the prices increase, and the price for home mortgages, uh, loans, and things of this nature increase. So the title of this podcast this evening is "The Poor is Not Included in the Future," and there's too much happening back to back. Um, Yesterday or a day before, we got the word that Supreme Court is possibly um, getting rid of Roe versus Wade. Uh, that women will no longer be able to uh, choose and have uh, the right to say what is to be done or what they can do to their own bodies. Now, from what I'm understanding, what I'm seeing, that's also going to affect the poor. Okay, uh, the Fed raising the interest rates by 0.5% is going to affect the poor. Now we're already having an inflation, but see the thing about inflation is the rich don't feel it. The inflation only affects poor people, and uh, the business people. We just came out of this huge stimulus money that was being given out to uh, businesses and people, which I feel as though, from what I was seeing prior to the stimulus money, these businesses was hurting. And I think if it wasn't for the stimulus money, uh, the economy could have very well collapsed. But it was the strangest thing when, even though uh, with the stimulus and the lack of jobs and people working, what I heard that the uh, stock market continuously uh, was making money, making profits, even under the uh, assumption that we're having inflation right now today, with gas prices being increased. But I think I heard on the news just yesterday that the gas companies, oil companies, had a uh, record-breaking profits this quarter, or whatever amount of time is used to determine uh, their profits, or when they you know check things out and see uh, when they actually made the money that that that's determined by the sales of their product. So I don't understand that all this inflation that's happening when trillions of dollars was put into the economy from the stimulus money. But I think what's happening is really a transition is taking place where things are getting ready to change, and they're going to change drastically. And if you're unprepared, if you don't have the money, if you don't have the education, there's no place in the future for you. And I think just the color of your skin definitely is going to play a part. But at the same time, poor is poor. And if you're not prepared, people, you're in trouble. And not only are you in trouble now, and if your children are not prepared for the future and know what direction this country is going and study and prepare yourself in that direction to go in that direction, you're still going to be lost. This is the age of technology. Technology, I'm sorry, technology. And this is the way people we're going to have to go. So that's the main reason I came in when I heard about the Fed raising the interest rates, and right away I knew people are in trouble, serious trouble. The ones that are not prepared, and like I said, the rich does not see in inflation. Only the poor people see that, and it's inevitable. Prices, real estate, and you're going to have A1 credit. See, a bad reputation is a bad reputation. When you get ready to rent a property, you're going to be charged triple. I remember when they had apartments, you could just uh, pay 1 month, pay the first month. That was it. Move in. Now they want 2, 3, 4 months rent. Credit check. Credit check on top of a credit check. And if you can't pass it, if you can't pay it, where are you going to live? These people are not going to rent to you because you know why? With a bad reputation, and then number one, if you get in and can't pay the rent, it's hard to get people out of your apartments. So these realtors, they're extra careful. They're going to check you. And you need to be prepared. You need to be knowledgeable about the future and what it's going to hold for you and the position that you're going to play in it, and prepare yourself. And this is just the name of the game. And it's not something to take it's not something to take lightly. And you know, parents parents have to get their head out of the sand because children, they are they're your responsibility. It's your job to train them and see to it that they are prepared mentally and physically. These kids are unhealthy. The stuff that they eat, if you take, it's just like if you plant a seed, good rich soil, keep the weeds out. and nurture that that seed and that plant as it began to sprout, it would bear some really good fruit. Keep the weeds out, bugs off of it. And this is what you have that same principle is used when it comes to your children. If you don't nurture your children and guide them in the right direction and give them some tough love and discipline them and give them chores to do and teach them about money and about work, about principles, about being responsible, teach them about the valuable things in life, that's what it's going to take to get them on the right path. Guy told me I was talking to a man today, and he was telling me about his daughter was going to college, and she couldn't get in Temple. She couldn't get in Westchester. But she finally did get into college. I'm not going to call the college name she got into, but she did get into a college. And and when he was telling me that, I'm saying I don't know if these students realize it or not, but you have these college has to they accept you based on your on your grades. So she was a little disappointed, but you have to keep trying and do whatever it takes to get in, to go to college or whatever, and do the best you can, and just continue to build and study and transfer from one school to another until she get to where she want to go. But the thing that I'm saying is, you just don't think that you can just get into any college you want to get into. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to have the grades to be able to be accepted by some of these top-notch colleges. So, and I don't think a lot of these kids realize that, because if they did, if they really wanted to make something out themselves, it would show. But it's a reflection not only on them, but it's a reflection also on the parents. So I just had to come in today and just elaborate a little bit on this, on the Fed, and what's getting ready to take place. And things are really going to get tough. And people are going to be forced to cut back. You see, so I think too, when you're forced to cut back, a certain amount of money, your money is going to be directed into certain people's hands, whereas the your basic necessities uh, should come first. And if you're not making a certain amount of money, you're not going to be able to make it. You're going to have to cut back. And I think people have been spending and spending and spending when they should have been uh, saving or investing, or having some some plans in place how they can make it and work together with family members or whoever to try and make ends meet or accumulate some money. Because if you're not doing that, where's the money going to come from? So, and Roe Roe versus Wade, Roe v. Wade. These children, if they can't go to these clinics they're gonna be in trouble. And not only that, they need it. And they also there's some responsibility comes along with this. But uh, government should not be able. No one should be able to tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. It's just ridiculous. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Things are coming down, and I think people gonna be forced to um, pay attention to uh, elections, and that's another thing. Elections. Politicians are trying to make it harder for people to vote. Again, something in their favor that is detrimental to uh, poor people. They want to create and be in charge of elections. They want to be able to say whether or not election is fraudulent or not. If they lose, they can holler foul. They're the ones in charge. This should not be the case. It's too much happening to me that looks like that. Uh, People, we're losing our freedom, we're losing our democracy, and right under our noses. And something occurred to me yesterday when I was talking about the rich. Because when you think about it, with all these people, millions, billions of people, it's a system, and this system, capitalism. Some people say it's bad, some it's good, but capitalism it works. It's not that it's a bad system, I think, uh, because when you can have all these billions of millions of people, and you have a system where they can work, and you can buy, you grow food, you do this, you do that, and it's working. But I think the problem is greed came in. Greed, just like you have cancer this and cancer that. Greed is the cancer of capitalism. Some people call greed an excessive business uh, intuitiveness or aggressiveness or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's greed. And if people would turn loose some of this money, and it wouldn't hurt them, it would not hurt these wealthy people to turn loose this money. And the money is going right back into the economy that the rich owns anyway. The whole system. This is what dawned on me last night when I was thinking. I could be wrong now, but this whole system, this whole system belongs to the wealthy. All the money. It's like it's all the money is just going right back to the source. It really is when you think about it. We have an economy we owe trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Okay, we in debt now. Think about using common sense now. If you're in debt, you are in debt. Okay, you owe money. You don't have anything. You owe it out. We're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. But yet we can print up a trillion and throw it out in the economy with billions and billions over here and billions over there. So, and not only that, but I forget how many years ago, we used to be on a gold standard. Okay, used to, and gold and silver standards means that on the dollar bill it used to be printed payable to bearer on demand. You could take this note to the bank You get a dollar, get $5, $10 worth of gold. On the dollar bill used to be a silver certificate. You could get a dollar worth of silver. But now there's nothing behind it. So I mean, I don't understand that, but I'm not an economist, so I don't know, but I'm just saying. So it's a system that works. It's a system that works, and I think the people that, based on how I'm thinking, the people that created this system, I think that they're brilliant, brilliant. Democracy, the Constitution, the laws, and how things was regulated in this country, brilliant. But greed came in, and people saw the opportunities, and people also was trusting, and they trusted these people, and they saw what they could do, and they just took advantage of it. And in doing so, this is what I think the reason why we're in the shape we're in today. The reason why we're having uh, uh, inflation. Why should we be having inflations as rich as this country in the world is? Why? Well, when you got someone over here with $1 trillion and someone over here with $10 or $100, problem. That's the problem. So until something comes up to really start being serious on both ends and realize the people at the top need to start fixing things because it's their world. Let's be realistic. I am. I mean, even though whoever has the money, that's who controls things. And the 1%, 2%, they got all the money. So it's their world. We're just living in it. And everything, every dollar that we get, all the stimulus money. They talk about the stimulus, but if it wasn't for that stimulus money, I think we'd be in bad shape. I think. Just my thoughts using common sense. I'm thinking about it. You know. When it comes to, racism did a lot of damage. A lot of damage. You know. At the same time, I think the situation that the way things are now, and the way they have been in the past up until now, is something going to take time to fix. It may take the next generation to fix it. But if the children that's coming up now, the generation that's coming up now, if they're not taught, if they're not educated properly, we're never going to get rid of this mess. And this is a fact. This is not something that just happened yesterday. And it's not going away. We can try to contain it. We can try and work on it, programs to get these people off drugs. But they didn't put drugs in the neighborhood. You know? So people have been taken advantage of. People have been used. It's time to stop it. It's time to stop it. Even if you give people 10, 15, $20, they're going to have to make that kind of money if they want to survive and get out of it, just be able to live. You're going to have to. You're going to have to do something. And everybody that do something have got to stop overcharging people for everything that you do for them, for your services, knowing they don't have money, but you want to charge them out of the wazoo for everything you do for them. Doesn't even make sense, man. It's greed. Everybody. even their own people, even people in the neighborhood we used to go to and get a deal, they charging more than the people downtown who's paying high rent. We can understand some of these prices they have to pay, and the rent maybe the rent that they're paying could be too high. They working to pay the rent. Then the people at the top is getting all the money just because you can do it. People never get out of the hole like that. Never. And it's terrible. Just a terrible state of affairs that only we as a people united can get ourselves out of this, pull ourselves up by our bootstrap. This is supposed to be a United States of America. And I think it is more separated now than it has ever been. Because I have never in my life, as long as I live, seen politicians denounce our election and even support an insurrection on our capital where people died. I've never, never, never. Yeah. This is, people is talking about politicians talking like, like they just like terrorists or something. I don't understand it. But yet they draw a paycheck though from it. I don't understand it. This is America. This is America. And it's time for us to act like it, to be it. I don't understand. But anyway, I just had to come on today to talk to get that off my chest. And it's terrible. But we can do better as a people, as a united people, you know, and realize that there's a lot more to worry about than this when our planet is dying. I think our planet is just as in much of a of trouble as we are, as the humans are, because we're doing it to the planet. I think even our mental attitude could also play a part in our planet as well as our destructive means of polluting it. So and even going down to space, every time we go down to space, what about all these gases and stuff that coming off these rockets and stuff? You know, maybe they should come up with a battery powered launch pad for these spaceships. Could be working on it. You know? So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot. It's a lot that needs to be happening, but at the same time, we could be moving too fast. Moving too fast. So I think we need to get on some solid ground and work on this economy and work on the our health part of it because I tell you, people, we are so unhealthy, and I've never. They got to me, it looked like cities, as cities built within a city of nothing but hospitals. So you building all these hospitals and these buildings and all these different type facilities because you are anticipating a lot of illnesses, a lot of people getting sick. because all this stuff, all this sugar and all these sodas, man, all these starches, man, all this stuff, it's coming to roost on you young people. It's coming to roost on you. See, the thing about it, a lot of times, when you see people today, in other words, people today now that's living to be 80, 90, 100 years old, okay? You think about this, 75, 80. Okay, these people were not brought up when we was coming up, and myself included. When we was coming up, you know, the food we ate was much better than the food that you're eating today. We wasn't stuffed with a lot of this fast food stuff, all this grease and all this. We wasn't That wasn't around at that time when we was coming up as kids. So so we was eating vegetables or gardens and fresh meats and stuff like that, chickens and stuff. We weren't eating all this mess these kids are eating today. So the soil that we came up in had a heck of a heck of a lot more nutrients than what these kids are eating today. So when y'all start getting these kids today start getting 40, 45, and 50. Oh my goodness, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in serious trouble. And they know it. They know it. These people know it. Cigarette smoking, and now you smoking. I mean, I'm not, look, people can do whatever they want to do. It's their business because whatever you do, as long as you don't bother or affect other people, whatever you do is your business. But just remember, for whatever you do, there's a price for it. There's a price for everything you do. And just because you don't think it is, you think it's okay. It's not. You look at all the food, the fast foods, and there's people getting sick. They're eating all the time, obesity. No, that's the results of what you're doing. And you need to get a grip on it. You need to control. You need to control your habits. I always have a saying: take back control of your body and mind. It's serious. You need to start taking life serious. And I cannot stress these things enough because what's happening is happening and it's going to affect each and every one, especially the poor. Rich people, hey, look, when it comes to eating and all this stuff, all this so-called gourmet stuff, you know, what is gourmet? They still got a bad effects on some of that stuff, man. But at least they can eat healthy and they get the best of the best. But still, they have to work on it. They work on what they eat because if they don't, you can they get obese like everybody else. But the fact of the matter is, people, we have to take back control and stop tasting everything. You know, and the situations that when you watch television, I always tell people televisions, these companies should give people televisions free. That's all they do is advertise. They'll show you movies, but it's advertised. Them advertisers hit you, man, boom, boom, boom. Every time you turn around, that's why it costs a fortune to advertise on television. Because if you don't know about something, how can you buy it? You can't. If the television wasn't in your home, you couldn't buy it. And not only that, you said, well, okay, well, we watch movies. But guess what? If you wasn't watching the movies, the actors couldn't get paid. If you didn't have the TV to buy the movies, to buy the TV. So you see all this stuff that we generate capital, keep the money in circulation, keep the money moving. Because all the money, as far as I'm concerned, belongs to the rich anyway. But we keep it moving. You see, people trying to get it. But we should get more for it if it's coming through us to go to them, then give us some kind of breaks. When the last time a top-notch entertainer come out and say, "Oh, here's free concerts"? Huh? When? When was the last time? They come in town, they charge you $200-300 ticket. But where does that money come from? Our support. Hmm? We didn't have a we didn't have a sneaker when these major sneaker companies. When did they ever say, "Hey, we're gonna have on the 3rd of July, we're gonna have a sneaker day sale. We're gonna sell everybody sneakers for 50% off." When? You know? Give people something, man. Just don't take all the time. Because that's why we don't have anything. And you never will have anything. But you have to take care of your body, take care of your mind, you know. Strokes, people having strokes, heart attacks, because you're eating. Your arteries, your veins are clogged with fat, grease, cholesterol, salt. You gotta stop. That stuff is killing you. If you stop eating that stuff, cut back. You don't have to eat 4 or 5 times a day and snacks all the time. Every time you turn around, you're eating. If you take a look at people that's obese, not all, because there's trying to some that's trying to get that eating habits under control. But the most obese people you see, they're always eating. I saw this lady there, this person downtown the other day had stuff in both hands eating. My goodness, man. It's it's just the way it is. It's the way it is. You got to get a grip. You got to get a grip on your life. You got to grip on yourself if you want to live. You got to get a grip on your children and teach them if you want them to have a future, because it's not coming to you. And there's other people in the game. See, other people in the game that value what you don't value. See, when you come from something, you come from hardship, you see an opportunity to get something. There's not enough hours in the day for you to work to get it. But when you've been living in a country and things have been given to you, you have not been shown how to get things. You have never felt really good and powerful about yourself and about your capabilities. It's like a glass. You know how you take a glass and put it over a seed, and as that plant grow, it cannot grow any taller than that glass that's over it. And it's like a glass has been put over our minds. Because trust me, there's no, it's not like you can't or you don't have the ability to do things, to learn, to be a genius. Yeah. Anybody can do it. If one person can do it, anybody can do it. And some things, if one person can do, and so anybody can do it, but just can be harder for that person to do it as it is for another. But you don't know what you can do if you don't get out there and get in the game. And that's the problem. We have been out of the game. We have been pacified with well, here, take this. You can have this, which they call socialism, but I call it imprisonment. And then once you get that, then you can't get anything else for fear of losing that, which is nothing. So it's time to make some changes. And then on top of that, when some of us break away, oh, they just keep running. They just keep running, forget all about where they came from. Forget all about where they came from and forget all about the people that helped them break away. But the hammer's getting ready to come down now with the Supreme Court's decision, with the Federal Reserve raising interest rates 0.5%, with uh, voting rights is being abolished, or a gateway to controlling the ballots is being opened. People, and on top of that, inflation, and on top of that, the bad reputation, killings, people, we are in trouble. So, on that note, I'm saying, you got to rein it in. You got to sit down. You got to take this thing serious, please, and look at life serious, because it is. And I cannot stress it enough. Have to, have to get it together and start doing something, because this is out of control, and it's going to be out of control. So I just hope that I hope the people just take a look at what, just take time and see what's going on, and take a minute, turn the TV off, put the cell phone down, just think a little bit, get in the habit of just reading a book or something, stimulate the mind, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it along with everything else. So on that note, today was back to back, was new for me, but um, at the same time it was good. I wanted to come out and just talk about the Fed, and what's getting ready to happen to the poor people in this country if we don't do something. So thank you very much on that note, and I just hope everybody have a wonderful night, and we'll talk soon.